Hello, my sweet and dirty readers. Welcome back to another Sierra Talks Books with Authors. Today's special guest is KL Donn, also known as Crystal. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to another Sierra Talks Books with Authors interview. And today I have KL Donn, also known as Crystal. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to learn about you and your books and share that with our viewers. And so first off, if you could start off just by telling us a little bit about your books, maybe in 3 words. If you use more than that, that's okay. But describe you and your books.
So I actually asked my readers to do this one for me.
Oh, awesome.
They're better than me. They've come to say romantic, heart-stopping, and real.
Ooh, I like that. All right. Well, I had a chance to do some perusing of your books on your website and Amazon, and holy smackers, you have a lot of books. So when did you start writing? When did you first publish your first book?
My first book was August 5th, 2015.
Okay, so we're going up on 5 years.
Yeah.
And how many books do you have at this point? Do you know? Do you have count?
I think I have 43 or 44 published, but I've got 3 more finished and waiting for edits.
Oh my goodness, that is a whole big stack of books. And I read on your bio that you also are a mother of 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
How do you find time?
Very little sleep.
Do you have at the beginning of every year, do you plan out your schedule of books, what you're going to be writing?
I do. I actually, in probably July of the year before, I will start planning the next year's books.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty incredible. What prompted you then to start writing romance?
So before Amazon was popular in Canada, we had Kobo.
Okay.
And there was an author I found on there, Dixie Lynn Dwyer.
Okay.
And she released through Bookstrand. And so the books wouldn't hit Kobo until 6 to 8 weeks after she released them.
Okay.
So I was bored while waiting for one of her new books. And I was like, okay, I can totally write a book too myself. And so I did that. And then a friend read it and she's like, so when are you finishing and when are you publishing? And I was like, I don't know.
And it sounds like you haven't stopped since.
It's been so looking ahead.
Yeah. So with your books, I mean, I noticed that there was kind of like you might have different subgenres within romance. Can you describe those? What do you normally write in?
So I think that a lot of my books can fall under contemporary romance.
Okay.
But I also do suspense. I've done dark. I've done just super light and sweet, kind of feel-good stories. I'm sort of all over the map.
Okay. All right. I read something about you're in your bio that you enjoy making readers cry. Is that
You know what? It's not. A friend of mine in Australia helped me with my bio. And she said that's the one thing I do to her with almost every single book.
So you feel a lot of emotion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even in the shorter ones, I tend to pack a real big punch.
Tell you, that's a hard thing to do.
It is.
Yeah, because if you have to tap into something really, deep inside yourself, for one, in order to write it, and then for it to come across in your work, that's a hard thing to do. So you just kind of went into it blindly, started writing it, and how long did it take you to write? And subsequently, how long does it normally take you to write a book?
So that first one took me over a year.
Oh, a year? Okay.
Yeah. So I was waiting for that author to release, writing away, and then I stopped because she released.
And you had to read it.
Exactly. And then Kindle kind of really hit Canada, and I discovered so many books, so many authors, and I was like, okay, well, you know what? I don't care. I just want the books. And so when I finally let my friend read it, I sort of just went full steam ahead and started writing until I finished. And
Okay.
that was about 2 months, I think.
After 40 some books, you've kind of gotten your groove. And I know that some are shorter than others, but from start to finish, how long does it typically take?
I think it depends on the story.
Mm-hmm.
So in May, I released Nowhere to Run.
Okay.
It's a full-length novel.
Uh-huh.
It took me 4.5 weeks to write it because the story was like a movie in my mind, and it was just I was.
Oh, wow.
But not every book is like that either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on the story.
Okay. All right.
The next one up is Coached in His Arms.
Okay.
Just it's a short, sweet. It's an annual release that I do.
Okay.
So they're all standalone. They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point, they're romantic, they're
Uh-huh.
what I write after I've written a particularly darker book.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, it sounds like you kind of need to decompress after
Yeah.
writing something that dark. Okay. All right. Cool. And what do you consider? I'm just curious because I know what I consider to be dark, but what are yours? What elements are comprise the dark romance for you?
In reading and writing is completely different. So
Uh-huh.
with my dark series, there's a lot of violence. There's some graphic violence,
Okay.
very graphic. The steamy scenes are a little bit more, I don't want to say violent because they're not violent, but maybe forceful.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Okay.
what word to use there, but they're just not as sweet and loving, I guess.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, I've talked to so many authors who, are in situations such as yourself where they have kids, and when they're going to school, that was their scheduled time to write. And now that, well, during the quarantine, they didn't have that schedule, and it's just like it's thrown everything off. And it's really, and even for those of us who don't have kids, it just the whole thing has thrown us all off. Not able to write. Has it affected you in that way?
It has. My husband was actually, he had reduced hours for work.
Mhm. Okay.
So he was also coming home from work 3.5
Oh.
hours earlier and home, and I'm just like, I have no quiet time anymore.
Right. Yep.
So,
Do you have your own like quiet office space? Because it looks like you're in kind of an office and
yeah, but that doesn't stop anybody from working.
no.
No.
What lessons have you learned since writing and publishing your first book in 2015?
Oh man, there's a few. I think one of the biggest things is don't take those harsh reviews to
Mm,
is the biggest thing. Like I
yeah.
haven't read any Goodreads reviews in probably 2 years.
Uh-huh.
It's just hard over there.
So when you have time, what do you what's your favorite read or favorite author, or if you have a chance to read?
Oh, one of my favorite authors is Maya Banks
Oh yeah.
and her KGI series.
Okay.
She's got one book, Whispers in the Dark. It's the third.
Mhm.
I have read it so many times that I rebought the paperback
Oh wow.
times. Between my husband and my PA convinced me to start the planning of my own event here in Alberta.
You're kidding. Oh wow. Okay.
I have not gone very far on that. I'll tell you, finding a hotel to do the event is very difficult because
Yeah.
they're not so popular here, so they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Uh,
Like I say a book convention or a book signing, and they're thinking like Inkers Con, where there's a bunch of speakers. And I'm like, no, this is like a fan thing.
yeah.
People want to meet authors and get
Uh-huh.
books, and they're like, huh? I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, see, I had planned for 2021.
Okay.
Everything's being rescheduled for them. So
Yeah.
I'm now at 2022.
Okay. Well, then you'll have extra time to plan and prepare. Nice. Yeah, look at the positive. All right. When your typical writing schedule was when your kids were at school, and now you just don't sleep. So I assume you sleep, or you write in the evenings or at night.
Yeah, I try to write when everybody's finally asleep because
Mhm.
apparently bedtime has gone out the window too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's typically pretty late at night, or if I wake up super early in the morning between when my husband leaves and the kids wake up.
Okay. All right. What genre would you write? A different genre outside of romance, if you could. What would you write?
So I really want to write paranormal.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty terrified of doing it though because it's so much different.
Mm-hmm.
Like the elements are completely different. I wrote a sort of fantasy book earlier this year.
Uh-huh.
I say sort of because I had a hard time staying on track with that fantasy element in it. Like I kept it and I thought it was okay, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard. Like I pat every author on the back that writes in those genres because I just don't think I can do it justice.
Yeah. Speaking of hard, what is the hardest part of the book for you to write? Is it the beginning? Is it getting started? Is it somewhere in the middle or finishing it?
Typically it's that first 10,000 words.
Uh-huh.
I ride the struggle bus all the way. Like just setting the characters up and making sure that I portray them the same way I see them in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah. So are you a pantser or a plotter when it comes down to writing?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Mostly a pantser,
Mhm.
but I'm writing in Christy Bromberg's world,
Oh, neat.
and she requires a plot, like an outline, and so I had to work like super hard
Oh, yeah.
at that. And
Yeah.
so I just did a short one sentence breakdown of every single chapter. And so I've started doing that with a few other books, and it's actually helping get past those humps.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see here. So, what experience have you had that's provided you with that biggest feeling of satisfaction or success in your writing?
Ooh. I think it's when a reader that I've never interacted with has messaged or emailed me saying that they adored whatever book they just read
Hmm.
and want more.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that when that happens, or they say, this really got me through a tough time, or I just discovered your books. Where can I learn more?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. And if you had to recommend one of your books to kind of start on in your huge collection, which one it would be and why?
Um. hmm. So one of my favorites is Missing in Action.
Missing in Action. Okay.
It's the first in my Task Force 779 series.
Mhm.
When I started writing that, it was about a decade after I experienced my own miscarriage.
Okay.
So I was able to pour everything that I felt into this story because my female character had a similar experience,
Uh-huh.
and I released it, gosh, just over a year ago, and readers still talk about it and tell me it's like my best book yet. So
Oh, that's awesome.
that's where I steer them.
Okay, Missing in Action. All right. So, where can readers find you if they want to come looking for your books? Where can they search and track you down?
So Amazon, obviously.
Mhm.
I'm also on Apple Books, Nook, Kobo, and I have a few on Eden Books. I have to finish uploading. It takes a little time there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm everywhere mostly. I have a few series in Kindle Unlimited right now.
Mhm.
And once their term ends, I'll put a couple more series in there and just cycle them through.
Okay. All right. How about a reader group on Facebook or
Yes, KL's Deviant Readers.
Deviant Readers? Ooh, all right. Okay. And then would you be willing or interested in giving away a book to a reader?
Yes.
All right. What book might you give?
Well, since you asked,
Yes.
Missing in Action.
Oh, nice. All right. Awesome. So what we will do is put the links where to find you, and then we'll have them subscribe to your newsletter. Yes? Does that
Yep.
work? All
Yep.
right. And then we can select a winner from those who subscribe, and we'll give more details in the description. But anything else that you want to share with readers?
No, not at the moment. I have a few surprises coming in July, so keep your eyes out.
All right, excellent. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing about your books. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much to KL Donn for joining us today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, make sure to be sweet, love hard, and read dirty. See ya.